When she spoon and like a BB moment, which is like a beautiful black moment. Did we get any of those in this episode?
Black.
We have a chaotic vibe moment of the
chaotic vibe moment. And you're watching Black by Reality.
Black by Baddies.
And those who love us.
And are listening to the Black by Reality podcast, a podcast for Black by Baddies and those who love us. We are continuing our reaction to the Traitors US Season 4. And once again, I have my co-host, my fellow traitor. It would be illegal to ever go against you, Quita Tinsely.
Exactly. And I would never go against you, Nicole. And not every traitor can say that.
No. Going into this, we knew it was going to be Candiace versus Rob. Do you think it played out the way we expected?
Knowing what I know from Love Island season 6, yes. You know? I had hoped for a different outcome.
Yeah.
But no, Rob is still Rob.
Yeah. He is very much still Rob. The people around him very much treat him like he's Rob. Candiace did her best to try and take him down with her and even had ample time to come together with a plan. So we're just going to talk about that. So in the end, they go to the turret, and here's my thing. They go to the turret and Candiace explains that she wrote down Rob's name because there just wasn't enough evidence against Lisa. I'm like, you're in the turret, girl, and you're a traitor. What are you talking about evidence?
It's like, Candiace, she needed to be petty in that or she was so pissed about what Rob did that she was like, no, I need to send a message to him. But I'm like, girl, I get it. I understand why you're angry. Your anger is so valid. Doing that throwaway vote just was so out of character for her own game that she had set up, and it looked way more suspicious. And she was doing it on a message that the faithfuls are not ready to receive. They will drink that man's bathwater. They will. They love him. So it's just like, girl, that throwaway vote, it made you look more suspicious than it actually hurt his game. But I get why she did it. I get it.
Yeah, I get it too. Now, she suggests killing Colton, and Rob said, you know what? I don't want Colton to go. He's my boy. But you know what, Candiace? I'm such a good man. You make the choice. And she writes down Colton's name. Did you already know what Rob was hoping for by letting her have this?
At the moment, I didn't see it.
Okay.
But then when he revealed, I was like, wow, he is truly strategically going after fellow traitors. Like, it's just like, Rob, why are you going so hard against your fellow traitors? What? I guess for me, and I understand why Candiace walked right into it. And as a viewer, I'm happy. I'm not mad. Yeah, get rid of him. I've been one of this.
Yes. It's so interesting because the character that Colton fell into, they usually make it to the end because they're able to divert attention and sway, and he was close to Colton, so he wasn't going to come for him. But having him take out mid-season is much more interesting because it can let the other characters surface. We see what other suspicions are out there. Colton, I'm trying to think of even his reaction to the murder. Did he seem not surprised?
It felt like he didn't seem surprised because he had already figured out Candiace. I feel like, when he got because I think he probably did breathe a sigh of relief once they got Lisa. But I also love that Candiace still got him. Yeah. Just like, even though he wasn't surprised because he figured Candiace was also in the turret. Yeah. But I'm glad. I'm like, no more Colton. Good. Let's keep the game going.
Truly. So we have a breakfast and they all find out Colton's dead. So the cast before that reveal is questioning Candiace. She's in the hot seat. They're like, what was up with your vote, girl? And she was like, it was a throwaway. I couldn't believe that Lisa was a traitor or Natalie. And everyone's like, I don't think a Rob vote is a throwaway.
Which also feels like it's reflective of how much they love him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no one questioned like Maura's throwaway vote. They're like, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever. It's cool that Dorinda did that. But they're like, no, Candiace, this is weird. And I will say it's out of character for her voting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, once she revealed herself as a traitor, why wouldn't they think more deeply? Why would she do that throwaway vote and then proceed to go so hard for him at the round table?
Mm-hmm.
If they're making that big of a deal about the throwaway vote.
Right. I think I could see them think that Rob was backing up Colton's charge against Lisa, and Colton's not here anymore. So that one's gone. So the remaining person who was anti-Lisa is Rob, and maybe that's why they're like, well, this makes sense. It doesn't have to be like, and he's a traitor. It's just like she's going after the person who helped us take out a traitor.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I knew what Candiace was up to when you heard Rob like drop his fork, and she was like, Rob. I was like, she's gonna use that later.
Yeah, she's definitely gonna use that, and she's making a big deal of it in this moment because she wants to recall our attention to this moment.
That was a housewife move.
It is, and I love it. I love it. Also, I feel like her writing down Rob's name was a housewife. That was a housewife move. It's like, I'm gonna let you know right now I clocked you, but I'm like, Candiace, the rest of the faithfuls can see you. Like, this is such a personal decision, and it seems so weird and out of left field.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, I don't know if Candiace even is considering that there's a dagger out there. And I don't know if anyone dropped that Rob has it. He's way too powerful right now. Like, he later mentions it. He's like, and I have a dagger. These people know. So they're not really going to mess with me.
Right. He's like, whether consciously or subconsciously, they're not going to come after me. And I'm like, wow, he literally is like, has this whole castle under his thumb, and he needed to get rid of the housewives because he felt like he couldn't get them on board with him.
No.
But it pisses me off because I'm like, he didn't think of Candiace as a formidable teammate to like that would support his game. He immediately was like, no, we have to get rid of both of the housewives. And I'm like, Lisa, sure. Yeah. But did you have to immediately go after Candiace?
Well, Candiace was going to go after him after taking out Lisa. Like, she had ample time. That's my thing about Candiace, is that almost every step of the way, she knew what Rob was doing, and she did not then adjust or try to work on him to convince him that somehow Lisa, despite all the suspicion on her, was good for their game to keep in. And she wasn't really gonna convince him of that because it didn't make any sense. Like, and it's interesting because Monet also tweeted about it, and Monet was like, hate to see it, I would have been a supporter of Candiace, but she was also letting go people who were more in her corner than anyone else. And that includes Lisa.
It does, yeah.
If we somehow kept Portia, if we somehow kept Monet, if we somehow kept Tiffany, they probably all would have been more in her corner than anyone else, and it could have been the Candiace show. Loving it.
Could have, but I think the thing was her loyalty to the Traitors was superseding her loyalty to her own game, to her own detriment. And I think part of that issue is like she miscalculated Rob, you know, because I think she assumed he really meant his loyalty to that group. But I'm like, no, Candiace, he's a snake. Like, you can't trust him. Like, you can't. Like, he is gonna, his game is above all, because he could have played a different game and kept at least Candiace longer, and he chose to expend both of them. Yes, I recognize he's like, no, Candiace was going to come after him, but I'm like, yes, a part of that is he wasn't willing to talk to her about some of his decision moves, and then he was leading the charge against Lisa the second time. He wasn't just going along with the rest of the castle, which would have been a perfectly fine move. He's like, no, I'm going to put it over the line for Colton because Colton can't see it through.
Yeah, after breakfast, we're getting to talking, and Johnny tells Tara that he thinks Steven is suspicious. Tara thinks it's Natalie, but also has doubts. I guess one of the reasons why he suspects Steven is because it's a name that Colton also said before he went.
Colton speaking from the grave.
Yes. Yes, we're still listening to Colton beyond the grave. And to be fair, Steven got a lot of heat in the last episode because he was cutting up that turkey. And then there was something else, right, that made him a little more suspicious.
He told he was the person to suggest someone pull the card, and Kristen's card got pulled.
Exactly. So it's like, as little as they have to go on, I'm like, okay, valid that Johnny's keeping that in his back pocket. Steven wants Rob as an ally because he has the dagger, so that is working in his favor. Now Eric, he's outside. He tells Rob, Natalie, Mark, and Steven he's suspicious of Candiace. And Rob reveals Colton told him before his murder that he was suspecting Candiace. So just throwing a little more, you know, the ember's already there. Rob just blows on it, you know?
He does. But does he blow on it, or does he kind of sprinkle gasoline on it? He's like, let me just go ahead and push this through. If that is what is pissing me off, because I'm just like, he knows his power of his voice and his association with Colton. And I'm like, he didn't have to go so hard on either charge, but he chose to. And I think that spoke to his wanting to expend them as traitors.
Yeah. Well, you got to be the first. That's the big one in these games. You got to go first, like, at the end of the day. And Candiace tells Johnny and Kristen that Rob looked flustered at breakfast when people talked about Colton. So now we have a mission, and the mission, I like this. It's the same mission every season, but they switch it up a little bit. People are inside, people are outside. This one's around a gallery.
And this is why whenever they're like, we can't lose like a guy for a mission, I'm like, they're not all of the missions are super physical. No. Some of them are campy antics like this, you know? It's like, this is why we can't expend all of the housewives. This is why we can't just be like getting rid of our bigger personalities, because they are the ones who make challenges like this fun.
Very true. Very true. So, but it's really telling at the beginning, because Alan's like, you're going to have to pick people who go inside the castle, and they're able to get shields. Now for this, Eric nominated Mark. He's like, first of all, let's pick other people. We can't just like argue for ourselves. So Eric picks Mark. Tara nominates Kristen. Candiace nominates Johnny because that's her number one ally. And Rob says he's worried about being murdered. He just says that, and Johnny leaped and was like, you could take my spot, Rob. So Candiace, this is when she says everyone wants to drink Rob's bathwater.
Literally. And I'm like, Eric literally said, nominate someone else. And Rob is like, I nominate myself.
Yeah. But he doesn't say it. I think that's the clever thing he does. He won't outright say the thing, But he'll just like throw a little thing out there and everyone's like, oh, Rob, it'll be okay.
We got you. We love you. Johnny's like, no, take my spot. You can have it. And it's like, y'all are giving this man too much power in this game. Like,
sure are. I'm not gonna feel bad for any of them if he takes all of that money. Like,
he should. Honestly, at this point, because I'll let us get to later in the episode.
Yeah.
But he should take every red cent.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's funny. The people outside are recreating these portraits and it's so good. Now, in the end, Kristen gets the shield. Okay. Yeah. I was like, will he push his luck? He does not push his luck. But
yeah, I found it very interesting though that she immediately yelled out to the rest of them that she had the shield, which I think spoke to how much loyalty there is with Rob. I think that was a little shocking to me. But I was like, wow, okay, everybody's really locked in with Rob.
Absolutely. And that's something everyone needs to assess if you're gonna go after him. Now, Kristen and Mark, they have posted on their Instagrams about their game, and they're kind of frustrated that in the edit they're not seen as very strategic. Apparently Mark and Kristen have been like this. They became best friends afterwards. They were talking game a lot. So that's very interesting. I don't know how Rob fits into that, but it is something to keep in mind. And you did good clocking that. Yeah, she just flat out said, I got it.
Yeah.
Now, back at the castle, Eric tells Johnny he's suspicious of Candiace. Johnny said he feels boy energy. It's just like you got to out to women. So of course now it's just like, how likely was it that it's all women?
Right.
So men getting heat. That's good.
Oh, only for them to later banish another woman, but sure. Like 2 people noted that they felt like there might be a man in the turret, and they were like, we're gonna go woman first though.
I mean, if the one woman's basically out there red-handed, like
yeah, I mean, was she truly red-handed at first? I feel like she kept digging herself her grave going at Rob, but I feel like at first she wasn't really as obvious. Now Lisa was, I don't know, I felt like multiple people were saying Lisa, so I'm like, okay, Lisa.
Yeah, but it's like, it's really the first fracturing was like, okay, one time we protect Lisa, you got it. The second time, Rob's like, it's probably going to happen. Let's just go with it. And Candiace is the one who's fracturing. So it's like even more evident of like Lisa as part of Candiace's downfall. Just the
for sure.
Yeah, the loyalty of it all. So from there, Johnny tells Candiace he's hearing her name because of the vote. He also drops it like it's hot outside the kitchen for her.
Like, I cannot. And this is why we need gays and girls in the castle. Just like doing random. Like, Johnny, why are we dropping it low? Just outside the kitchen for no apparent reason.
No apparent reason. She is fighting for her life. Okay.
And Johnny's dropping it low. Okay. You know, it's like the conga line moment all over again.
Right. Now, Miss Dorinda says, it's weird Lisa helped Steven in the last mission. Very interesting detail that she brought up. Yeah. Again, somehow Steven, I don't know how Steven became lead suspect in this, but Steven flat out says at the round table, like, oh, I asked, so she gave it to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think Steven is becoming the number one suspect because they do realize a man probably, just statistically, is also in the turret. Mm-hmm. And if Colton's gone and he's not the traitor, and they will refuse to look at Rob, really Steven's kind of like the main because of that moment. I feel like everybody kind of paid attention to Lisa giving him her gold for some odd reason. So, and his name came up multiple times at the murder in plain sight. So I'm just like, he does seem kind of suspicious, I guess. But I'm like, also, y'all be willing to look at Rob. Can you like be willing to look at Rob?
Yeah, absolutely not. He's our golden boy. Keep that snake safe. Okay.
We love him. Like every time. Like,
Yes.
okay.
I know Leah Kateb is sick of it. Now, Candiace, she pulls Steven aside, which is not great because also Steven has suspicions.
Right.
And Dorinda Amora tries to walk into the room. Candiace turns them away, asking for privacy, which in Big Brother, you just know. If someone walks in the room, you change the subject. You never tell someone, I am scheming with this person, and I don't want you a part of it.
Yeah. It was, I think Candiace was like not thinking clearly. She was not thinking clearly in that moment. I think Johnny straight up telling her like Rob's going after you, she wasn't surprised, but I think it did throw her off a little bit, you know? And so I was like, girl, why are you telling people? Like, people are starting to look at Steven, because I think she also, she could have also allowed the castle to kind of keep looking at Steven. She could have kind of gotten on that train, but she was like, no, I want to bring Rob down. We're not doing that. So like, I feel like she wasn't even thinking like, girl, they're looking at Steven too. And you're talking about, can we have this moment privately? And you were also close to Lisa and you did a throwaway vote. Candiace, what are we doing? What are we doing?
For sure. Instead, I think she signed Steven's death note for next episode.
She did. She really was trying to work on Rob, but she just sealed her own fate. And I think they're going to go after Steven even harder.
Dang, Steven. And then Rob, he clocks that Candiace and Steven are talking, so he interrupts them and gets in there, which any Big Brother person would do. She asked when Rob learned Colton said her name. I think this is now when they're alone. She was like, did you know before I killed him? And it's like, girly pop, what does it matter? Like, you fell for the okie doke. It's like, what do we do now?
I think also, I wonder if in that moment she was trying to really offer him an opportunity to be honest with her again. I feel like she was trying to clock what type of energy he was on, because he could have in that moment came to her and been like, yeah, I did know it last night, but you wrote my name down. And so I didn't tell you that because you wrote my name down. And he could have owned it, right? And that could have been a sign that like, we can work this out. But again, he lied to her, and she knew in that moment, oh, Rob truly has been going after me this entire day. Like, he's going after me.
You gotta lie in this game. You gotta lie. That's why I was like, Candiace, when he was asking whether you trusted him or like if you guys can work this out, and you said you do what you gotta do and I'll do what I gotta do, that was the wrong thing. You always pretend like we're on good terms.
But what does it matter when you already know that I feel like she in that moment already knew that she was going. She knew it.
So what's her goal now? Then?
Her goal was to try to muddy Rob's reputation. I feel like she's like trying to like figure out like, okay, how hard do I come at him today?
Okay.
You know, I feel like the moment he kept lying to her, it just pissed her off more. And she's like, okay, now it's me versus you. I know I'm going. Because she didn't try to defend herself at all. Like, at all against. She was like, no, I'm going to use this entire time continuously coming after you, knowing it's not going to work. Because she knew they were drinking his bathwater from earlier in the day.
Yeah. For sure. So she basically knows she fell for a trap. And she says if she goes, then his name's coming up.
Period.
Rob said, you're bad sportsmanship. The show was called The Traitors. She says he's a snake, not a traitor. Okay, rebrand. Like, it's not like snakes have a great reputation or traitors have a great reputation. It's semantics at this point.
I know. Because he betrayed the traitor. I think she really took it personally how soon he started coming after them. Because it's like he aggressively went after both of them. Like, he didn't give Candiace a chance that day. He went immediately, was like, oh, y'all are already talking about Candiace. Colton also told me Candiace. He didn't have to do that.
But it's like, that's what you do. You gotta jump on the train that the faithfuls are going on, no matter what it is. But yeah, I feel you on that. At the round table, Johnny kicks things off, revealing that Colton was suspicious of Stephen before he was murdered. Dorinda brings up Lisa helping Stephen in a mission, and yeah, he brings up that he asked Lisa for the gold. Eric says Candiace was consistent until that Rob vote. Yeah. She claims the options were Natalie and Lisa, but she didn't believe there was evidence. And Eric said everyone else felt that there was evidence. And it's like, honestly, yeah, it's like you're pretending to be on the team sport that is the faithfuls. And if you are sticking out, you better have a good reason why.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like she's so in the mind of Team Traitor that she's like, I don't really have to give you a good reason.
Yeah, she really underestimated that throwaway vote. Especially, and I'm like, if she were more of a Dorinda type, people wouldn't have questioned, because no one literally was questioning Dorinda's vote, literally at all. But I'm like, Candiace has been so strategically thinking about her votes as a faithful, and doing that throwaway vote really threw people off. And I'm like, girl, she underestimated it.
Yeah. She also brings up Rob dropping his fork at breakfast. He was like, I wasn't nervous. I was upset because I was close to Colton. Mara said Candiace claims the Rob vote was a throwaway, but she's targeting Rob right now. And it's like, yeah.
She is. She is.
So,
yeah, but it's different now. I'm like, Candiace, you were targeting him last night, you're targeting him today, like, girl.
Right. And it's so interesting what Johnny says, because it's like, does he know Candiace is a traitor? I don't know. He basically says in a confessional, he's like, I'm really upset if my close ally was a traitor, and yet there's still the strategy of going far with the traitor. And now his traitor is being taken out, and he has to hop on the bandwagon, or else he would have gotten blowback.
Right.
So yeah. Now we're voting, and we're going around. Tara Lipinski is crying
because she saw the writing on the wall. And I feel like she really did not think Candiace was a traitor.
Yeah.
I think Johnny kind of was like, this theory is making sense to me. I feel like the whole time Tara was like, this does not, no, not Candiace.
I know. And those two are so good to have. Maybe if Candiace used them more to be a mouthpiece for her, like people say Colton was for Rob, it would have gone a lot further than her trying to like advocate for herself and like also try to throw Rob publicly under the bus.
Right. Because I don't feel like she really advocated for herself very much at all, because she was focused so much on taking out Rob,
A mess. Natalie, she gets away with a lot because she flat out voted for Lisa at one point, then apologized. She has done, I think, the whole antidote situation, rubbed people the wrong way, but then she apologizes at breakfast. So this time, Natalie, Tara voted Natalie because Candiace threw out that Tara was leading a charge against her, but Tara was like, that was a group thing. Like, that wasn't just me. So, yeah, Natalie basically tells Tara she regrets voting for her. We'll see if they are able to move forward. I mean, we saw Dorinda hanging out with Mara this episode, so I guess people don't take the stray vote at them very seriously.
No. Yeah. Which I think is why I'm so shocked that they took Candiace's stray vote so serious. But I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they have not made a big deal out of any other stray vote, but guess it was out of character. She should have just freaking voted for Natalie. That's why I'm like, she should have just stuck with the Natalie vote. It would have been more strategic and just went after Rob.
Really?
Later.
Yeah, like voted for Natalie, apologized, move forward instead of following on the Rob train when no one's looking at him.
No one, not a single person will look at him.
As Lisa Rinna once said, he's just so attractive that no one will look at him. But I'm married to Harry Hamlin, so I'm used to hot people.
I cannot.
So, in the end, Rob has to nominate. He's the only traitor left, which is so wild. He has to nominate someone, and he's only looking at the men because now people are only looking at the men.
Mm-hmm.
And who did you think he was going to pick? And do you think he picked the right person?
I did think he was going to pick Johnny, honestly. I assumed he was going to pick someone to easily be expendable to get the heat off of him. I think I was a little bit more shocked that he took the Eric route, but I think he has someone who trusts him in Eric. I think he's going to spin it in that way of like, you can trust me. I picked you because I trust you.
Yeah. I think he picked, when he was talking out loud, he was like, I already have these people, so I don't need to worry about them. I need someone who's more on the outer. So I think he went Eric for that reason. And you can see how much these people are blinded by Rob because Eric did the most emotion he's ever done. Like, he literally jumped, jaw drops. That was wild.
When Kristen said, like them talking about Candiace pointing at Rob, and she's like, "There's no way, that sweet, sweet man," and I'm like,
even the lesbian can fall for.
Like, what is he doing in that castle? Like, how is he wooing? Because I think for me, it's like the absolute certainty to be like, no, I know without a shadow of a doubt that this. I'm like, okay, Alan picks the traitors. Like,
yeah,
they don't choose it themselves, right?
That's true.
Like, if Alan's picking them, any one of us, you know, I think that type of attitude of like trusting him without a shadow of a doubt, I'm like, no, we should be willing to have an air of suspicion on every single one of us, just a little bit. You can have your people that you trust, but also have your air of suspicion. It's the traitors.
It's the traitors, babe. I think him being quiet, like his whole thing of also really being able to connect with Ron Funches, who was just like not doing well socially. I think that gives him the benefit of the doubt. He doesn't say much, and what he does say is like pretty sweet and nice. He's just walking around in overalls. And I mean, I'm trying to hold off on saying my chaotic bi moment. I really am trying, but I might just have to say it now. The fact that in this episode, as Rob and Candiace are going to war, Johnny was so torn. He drops it low for Candiace. And he's also like, my baby Rob, my sweet man. He did not know where to go. And you can tell this episode.
And it feels like people are so committed to their love of Rob that they aren't thinking strategically around why Candiace has been doing what Candiace was doing, because everybody's noting how smart Candiace is. So I'm like, if you recognize how smart she is, why would she be doing what she is doing? Like, if she was trying to preserve herself in the game, she wouldn't go after Rob because no one's looking at Rob. That don't even make sense. She would have went after someone else. I feel like they're just like not strategically thinking about any of, and I'm like, who would have gotten rid of Colton after Lisa was gone? If we now are sure that Colton is a faithful and the traitors got rid of him, who would go after him after Lisa? Like, I just don't understand why they are not thinking clearly about like how this can lead back to Rob.
Yeah. I don't know. He just must be really good. He also votes with the house. So no one has like a memory of Rob being like creating frustrating conflict. And I think with the whole not that sweet man, that plays into it of just like, he's so easygoing. He's obviously trying to help. And he did help spearhead like the whole Lisa thing with Colton. And his best friend just got murdered. Like, that's also so fresh.
Like his friend. And I'm like, was it his friend or his faithful shield?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. What I really... It was also so funny watching Eric. First of all, before he even knew what the envelope was, he's got sent to the room. He opened that door and almost shut it again. He was like,
he just sees the chair, the letter, and he's like, I'm out. Like,
he acted like it was the actual electric shock chair. He said, nope. Absolutely not. And they're like, Eric, you have to go in. He's like, ugh. He sits down, opens the letter. For some reason, there's like handwriting on it, and they wrote Eric. And he's like, Eric is hilarious. He's like, I know what this handwriting is. This is. And does he say Johnny?
He does say Johnny. And I'm just like, okay, first of all, when have y'all seen each other's handwriting for you to be so certain?
At the round table.
Oh, you're right. Got it. Wow. But it's always so funny to me that whenever Eric is so certain, he's so wrong.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it. And that's why he's going to be an interesting traitor for sure. He might just be Rob's follower. What do you think of how he would be in the turret?
I think Rob picked him because he assumes he'll be his follower. And I feel like because it's like, is he really going to take himself out of the game over this? I don't think so. I think he'll stay in the game. And because Rob has been so undetectable, he'll probably want to follow Rob's lead. And again, underestimate that Rob will cut him because he got rid of the two other traitors. I'm like, yeah, I'm curious if Eric is going to clock that Rob led the charge against the two past traitors. Or if I feel like he's just going to trust him though.
I think he's going to trust him. But then I think what will be interesting, because I also have another theory of like, Lisa and Candiace have the theory of like, oh, he can't stand strong women. And that's also why he took them out. I also wonder how much that people underestimate Rob because of his age. And Lisa and Candiace are more mature with him, but so is Eric. I don't know if you guessed what his age was, but people were like gagged over his age recently. So I wonder if that will like come to play in their dynamic. I don't know. But it's like, if he's not a pushover, he's like, am I really going to let this little boy in overalls from Alabama tell me what we're going to do?
I guess I'm curious how Rob is going to engage with him. I think it's all about, because I think Rob is going to charm him. So I don't think he's going to go to that energy. And I feel like, Candiace and Lisa both clock Rob for what he was doing around, I think he was going after them and then looking them in their face and being like, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I voted for you, knowing he was going to vote again. Mm-hmm. Not only was he going to vote, he was going to lead it. I don't know. Yes, you could say like sexism, sure, it probably plays a role, but I'm like, I felt like he just was like, no, I'd rather cut my losses early. And I'm like, was Candiace a loss that needed to be cut that early? Lisa was a lost cause, yes, but I'm like, him and Candiace could have schemed. He wasn't scheming with either one of them. I feel like he was just letting them play themselves so he could get further.
Yeah. It's so tricky because, like, I don't know how many more episodes we have, but we're getting a little bit down to the wire. And I was like, will they really just let Rob be the only one? We've never seen it, but they're like, no, you got to get one. And he said, Eric.
I think he's going to charm Eric. He's going to charm him. And Eric is going to eat it up and go along with it. And I'm like, and then he's going to get rid of you too.
Right. It's not looking good, but we'll see. Our guest last week was Ashma Ali. He is so team pro Eric. So just for his sake, things could work out. His ears, he doesn't need to rely on his ears anymore. He has all his senses in this game and all the knowledge.
He couldn't trust his sight either because he just knew, he was like, I know that this is Johnny's handwriting. You're wrong again. And I love how when he's going after Candiace, he's like, I don't know. I don't have a lot. He wasn't certain and he was right. And then the moment he's certain, he's wrong.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like Candiace's interviews are out yet. There's just Colton's. Colton claims that, the statement that Peacock put out in support of the cast was not just for him. He said some people were really struggling. Michael Rappaport. And he was thankful that they did it. He talks about death threats, but that's pretty much it. I don't think he really talked much about his game besides it's a game. So I can't wait to see what Candiace has to say and her reaction to the rest of Rob's game. It didn't seem like she's Team Rob. So
her appearance on the official Traitors podcast with Bob and Rob, I saw that interview.
Okay.
And no, she is not Team Rob at all. She feels like he's a snake of all snakes who is snaking and lying in her face. Which he was lying. He was lying to her face.
Is there anything new that she brought up?
I don't remember there being anything new.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, damn. Hate to see it. We don't have any more Black people.
No, she was our last Black castmate.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
In Black History Month at that.
I know. It's time to wrap the season up.
We're done here. The first episode of Black History Month, and they're like, and this is the last time you'll see a Black person on this show for this season. Y'all be easy.
It's crazy.
Rob is about to win.
Is this like the first season we're going to go so long without a Black person then? I don't know.
I don't remember.
Because I feel like there's just usually at least one. But yeah, we went out after each other this season. Now, what's your chaotic bi moment? Since I already said Johnny Weir just dancing around Candiace and Rob.
My moment was also a Johnny Weir moment when they were in the art challenge and he's like, I was trying to look somber in that one, but my face doesn't move as much as it used to.
Of course. I love that they were like trying to figure between if that one person was a baby or a horse head, and that was Eric. Eric was so offended.
Yes, a baby or a pig's head, not even a horse head.
Right.
A pig's head. It's like...
Right. It was, I think, Johnny or someone like that who was trying to be the horse head that looked a little weird. And they were like, but it was so obvious that also Candiace was milking a cow and they were going for horse.
Horse. It's like, you don't milk horses. Why would someone be under a horse like that, y'all?
Are you okay?
And it was Rob. It was Rob both instances being very like, it's giving pig's head to me, or I think it's a horse. And it's like, no.
Not at all. That doesn't make any sense. All right. Our beautiful black moment of the episode. My pick is Candiace calling Colton Rob's beard. That was crazy. I said Colton has what?
And then Alan was like, and we're done.
And we're not having another Michael Rappaport situation. And we're done.
Shut it down.
It's like, that's such a housewife thing to say. Like, are you okay?
And this is why I love housewives being on this show, damn it. I don't care how they play as gamers. I care when they do chaotic things like this because it's just great television. Candiace, what?
I mean, you have to care because now we don't have any housewives. It's not, I'm not hating on the housewives when I'm criticizing their game. Get better so you can stay to the freaking end. We were impressed with Phaedra. Phaedra made that season.
But Candiace, I think, has lasted. Well, did she last as long as Phaedra?
I think Phaedra makes it damn near the end.
Till almost to the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, Candiace made it kind of a long time for a traitor. It's been a few weeks.
It has. It has. It's just like she could have lasted a little longer for Black History Month.
Could she? Because let's be real, she was on Rob's list. The moment he went after Lisa, she was up next. He wasn't playing around with her. And she knew that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, what is your beautiful black moment?
It was Candiace being like, you do what you're going to do, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And we all knew that she was going after him at the round table.
Exactly.
I was like, period. I love this energy of she's like, I'm not playing with you. I'm not even going to play nice with you. You know what time it is. When we get to that round table, it's me versus you. I don't care what anybody else has to say. I'm not trying to defend my game. I'm not casting suspicion on anyone else. I'm coming after you the whole time.
Yeah.
Exactly what she proceeded to do.
There was no turning back. There was no turning back once she was on this train.
She was committed, and I love that. I love that for her.
Yeah. So, goodbye, Candiace. Until the reunion. Oh my gosh, the reunion that's gonna be between Lisa, Candiace, mostly Candiace versus Rob, because I don't think Lisa's actually that sour about it.
No. And let's be real. I feel like Lisa knew her time was numbered. Like even Lisa was shocked that she lasted that long, you know? But I think Candiace is pissed because she's like, how dare you repeatedly lie to me to my face and thought I wouldn't be able to know that you were lying to me to my face. And that's what he was doing. And I feel like she's like, you are not going to play me like I'm dumb, because I'm not. Because she's literally telling him exactly what he's doing. He's like, no. Okay, Rob. Sure. And I get it. You're like, that's the game. And I'm like, is it the game the whole time? Like, immediately going after both of your fellow traitors?
That's what Natalie does every week. She be writing down people's names and say, I'm so sorry, I was mistaken. Then later on, she's like, no one's getting a shield. All right, we're best friends. And no, I need the antidote. Back off, Tara Lipinski. Oh my gosh, like, but we're totally cool, right? Like, it's totally a gamer's mindset, and I don't know. I feel like housewives have to have a little bit of that in them. They say the craziest things about each other, like their families, their businesses, and then they have to see each other again next season.
But I think a part of that is the women own up to each other. Because it's like the women who know.
Lisa?
Lisa who?
Lisa Rinna? You think she always owned up to her stuff?
Maybe not at first, but I feel like eventually people will own things. And I feel so it's like Real Housewives of Potomac, right?
Yeah.
It's like a lot of them, they be saying all kinds of stuff about each other all the time, but they will own that they said that about the other housewife. And I feel like that's when people respect you versus like being like, I never said that. I know Phaedra did that, but I'm like,
and
I feel
Phaedra like was a great traitor until she
was because but I think that's the thing is like the loyalty and the honesty is so important to a lot of the housewives, which is why Candiace took it so personal that Rob continuously kept lying to her. And she's like, I get it. Like, you know, and I understand what she meant around like for her, there was not enough evidence to vote for Lisa because she could have played that off because she is a housewife and Dorinda was also making similar moves, right? She could have easily went after Natalie and I think that would have looked less suspicious than her throwing the throwaway vote to Rob because the housewives don't vote against each other and that makes sense, you know?
Until this episode. I was like, okay, Dorinda
Thank you. Exactly. And
yeah.
Lisa also voted against Portia, but
yeah.
But you know, because I'm like, if someone were going after Colton, Rob would not have easily written down his name because that's exactly what he was saying. He couldn't go along with Colton. So I'm like, it made sense that the two of them, their paths diverged in that way.
Yeah, for sure. We barely got a teaser next week, so we're just kind of kept in the dark about Eric being introduced to the Traitors' life. I think Rob's gonna backstab Eric at the end.
Of course he is.
Like Eric, he cannot get that money after everything Rob has done.
No, Rob is gonna get him too, and that's why I'm like, Eric, you better not be super loyal to Rob. You better pay attention to the fact that he actively went after the two other traitors because that's an important piece of information. Like you can't trust him. And knowing that now, essentially, he kind of knows that he let Colton be taken out of the game by Candiace. So truly, Rob is like, hey, if you threaten to my game, it's no skin off my back, whatever. You
know? But he will get credit if he does take out Rob.
Yes, but will he do it?
We'll see.
Well, I would love to see that. I don't have a lot of faith in Eric, unfortunately.
We hardly know him.
We don't really know him other than he heard Tiffany laugh and he knows Johnny's handwriting.
I love how wrong he is. It's so good.
And he's our next traitor. It's like, okay, this should be fun.
I'm trying to think if we ever had a traitor like him before, or like his personality going to traitor. I don't think so. Like he's so under the radar. I mean, Ari was kind of like Ari. Ari in the first season from The Bachelor.
Season 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was like unexpected and it was like, yeah, that's not going to go anywhere. So we'll see.
I was a little surprised he didn't go with Natalie either because I feel like a lot of suspicion is on. I really thought Rob was going to pick someone to easily expend them the next week to keep himself safe, but he's playing a longer game.
He has to because he has to make it to the end, you know, somehow. So it needs to be someone in the middle. Yeah. So we'll see. Quita, where can people follow you until next week's episode?
You can follow me on Instagram at hello_Quita.
And I am your host, Nicole Weaver. I am currently writing for Pop Heist and Parade. I will share some links down below about Candiace's Instagram feud with Rob and more. Other than that, we talked about Heated Rivalry, season 1 with Ashma Ali of Couple to Thruple. So hop on that if you haven't, and prepare yourself. Survivor 50 is coming later this month. And Tiffany Nicole Irvin, who was our guest a couple weeks ago, is competing on that. I saw a headline. She doesn't want a number 1 ally. Okay. Okay, we'll see how that plays out. But other than that, baddies, I hope you feel visible and stay visible today, even if there's no more Black women on this season. Black femmes are still talking about the season, so hang in there until Candiace rips Rob a new one at that reunion. All right. Bye.